In this course, you will learn the benefits of mindfulness and you will learn the benefits of creating a mandala. I will share numerous techniques with you, but I will share 3 main methods of how you can create a mandala. The first method that I'm going to share with you is how to create structured mandalas, which means that you're using a ruler, a compass, you are measuring things, and you are trying to create a mandala that is symmetrical. So you have a structure that helps you to get started. The second method is a freehand method, which means that you do not depend on a ruler or a compass or any of those things. The only thing that you need to get started is a pen and a paper, and you will start with your free hand. And of course, you can also have a clear goal, you can have a plan, but you're just using your free hand. And then the third method that I'm going to share in this course is the intuitive method, which means that you start with a pen and paper. You also don't need a ruler or a compass, but of course you could use that. And intuitive means that you're really creating something intuitive and spontaneous without knowing where the journey goes. So you start with one pattern and you keep on adding to this design, and then you kind of have a surprise moment because at the end you will see where your journey led you. So I hope that you're ready for all these 3 methods. It's also important to know that you don't have to follow my modules in chronological order. You can just always check how you're feeling at the moment and what you need in your according to your current state. So if you need more structure in one day, go ahead and look at the structure techniques. If you feel like you want more freedom to express yourself, you don't want something that is limiting you, but you really want to do something with your emotions and free expression, then maybe the intuitive method is good for you, or the freehand method. So as I said, you don't need to follow the order, just have a look at all the modules that I have and then choose according to your current state. So I hope you will enjoy all the modules that I have prepared for you. Hello and welcome to my course. My name is Anneke Keinde and I'm a professional art therapist. And the main reason why I created this Mindful Mandala Drawing Course for you is, number one, to show you that creating your own unique mandala from scratch can have a lot of personal benefits for your well-being. And the second reason is that I think that we are living in a world that is so fast-paced, we're always busy, we're doing so many things, and we think that we can multitask. And I want to show you how you can implement mindfulness into your life with a creative practice.
In Sanskrit, mandala means circle, and circle mandalas are also one of the most commonly available form of mandalas. In countless religions and traditions, primarily Hinduism and Buddhism, circles have very powerful significance. In regions across the Himalaya and India, people use the artistic expression of mandalas to form symbolic relationships between the universe and the spirit. In many ancient cultures around the globe, the circle represented a symbol of deeper connection with the self and the universe. Nowadays, mandalas have become a popular symbol of meditation. The mandala can enhance focus, relaxing and silencing thoughts while meditating, can promote stress relief, and help you to form a greater connection with yourself and to be centered. Hopefully, drawing your own unique mandala will help you to relax and to work on your personal well-being. Doing the same thing over and over again is very relaxing and lets you stay in the moment. Drawing mandalas and coloring them can help you to connect with internal processes that you might be struggling with. I hope you will enjoy this tutorial and learn to make your own mandalas and to enjoy the process. Mindfulness stands for being in the present moment. Mindfulness also involves acceptance. This means that we pay attention to our thoughts and feelings without judging them, without believing that there's a right or wrong way to think or feel in a given moment. When we practice mindfulness, our thoughts tune into what we're sensing in the present moment rather than reflecting on the past or imagining the future. Although mindfulness has its roots in Buddhist meditation, we cannot only be mindful when practicing meditation. We can be mindful and aware of our actions and thoughts in any given moment of our lives. Mindfulness means paying full attention to something. It means slowing down to really notice what you're doing. When you're mindful, you're taking your time. You're focusing in a relaxed, easy way. And I want to show you how you can do this by creating your own unique art.
In the previous lecture, you learned that the mandala has been used as a sacred symbol all over the world by countless religions and cultures. The mandala can help you to be focused. It can serve as a means of self-reflection. It can help you to calm down, to relax, to focus on one thing. You can forget all your chores and all the things that you have on your mind, your stress, your anxiety. You can really focus on what you want to create, choose your colors, choose your patterns, and just focus your mind on one aspect. So it can help you to relax, to unwind, and instead of always wanting to multitask and wanting to do multiple things at once, you focus on one thing. And compared to using a coloring book, because I know that a lot of people nowadays love using coloring books, they're very popular. They do have benefits because a coloring book offers you structure and it takes away the fear of not being able to create yourself, the fear of not being good enough and not being talented. So it's a good thing to get started with a coloring book if you are in need of de-stressing and something that offers you focus and helps you to calm down and relax. But in this course, I want to teach you that you do not need a coloring book because we are trying to get loose and to get away from your limiting beliefs, because your limiting beliefs are telling you I'm not capable of creating my own mandala, and that is why I am using a coloring book or a template from a book or that I found online. It is your limiting belief that tells you that you're not talented, that you're not able to create, and you're telling yourself, let other people do the creation and I will seek the mindfulness and the meditation through a coloring book. But I'm telling you today, there are very simple ways of creating mandalas. So I'm promising you that the most mandalas that I'm sharing in this course are for beginners, and then I'm going to add some that are more intermediate later on. But I really want to show you that here it's about the creative process. It's about diving into the process of creating something and choosing the patterns, choosing the colors, and really feeling what's going on. Because even though coloring books can have benefits, and if you enjoy using them, you can still keep on using them, but we want to add your own, because while doing that, you can really express your emotions and feelings. And you have to choose, because you're choosing all the things by yourself, because you're starting with a white paper. The difference with mandala that is already pre-made, that you only color in, is that there's still the chance of being distracted. So while you're coloring in the mandala that was already created, you think of all the things that you still have to do, or you listen to a podcast while you're doing it, or you're just drawing and talking to your friends. So in a way, if you're just coloring in a pattern that's already there for you to use, it is possible that you're not really creating mindful, but that you're creating mindless. So we always have to practice and tell ourselves, I really want to focus and see what I'm doing. I really want to have my thoughts on, let's say you're drawing a spiral. I'm drawing this type of spiral, and you repeat over again, or I'm choosing a circle because I want to feel centered. So you're aware of what you're doing. That is what makes it mindful. If you're mindless, you're just using, let's say you have a circle, you're just coloring it in while you're thinking of all the things that you have on your to-do list, while you're still thinking of all the stressful things in your life. So you have to choose between the mindless creation and the mindful creation. And I hope that my modules are going to help you with this progress. I know that you might not know Udemy. You might be new on this platform. You might not really know how to use the whole page. So this lecture is going to show you how to get the best out of this course, how to get your certificate, how to communicate with us in the Q&A section. So if you're new to all of this, then make sure that you watch this lecture. Okay, I just want to quickly talk to you about a few steps that you can take to get a guaranteed win out of this course. So you have already invested in this course, which means that you are ready to change something in your life and you need some guidance to get you through the process. So what I want you to know is that you should finish the course. You should really look at each module, because you cannot get the win that you want out of this course if you only do the first module and then forget about the existence of the course. So try to finish it, but just remember that there's no need to finish the whole course in one day. You can definitely do it according to your time and schedule. Just take it one step at a time. And to make it easier to really work on the exercises that I'm sharing with you, also make sure to always look at the downloadable section, because for a lot of exercises I add some inspiration and some things that you can look at that will help you with the module. And remember, communication is key. Don't hesitate to ask questions. So even though it's a digital course, of course, there's an option to talk to me as an instructor, or to also talk with the other members of the course. So don't hesitate to write me a personal message if something is unclear, or to write a message that will be visible for all members of the course. And you can do that by clicking on the Q&A section. I'm going to show you now how you can communicate in this group, how you can communicate with the community, share your images, and also ask your questions. So if you want to communicate in the Q&A section, first enter your course. I'm showing you this in the example of my course, Mindfulness-Based Art, the Mindful Mandala Drawing Course. But just enter any of the courses that you have. And then you see this is your dashboard. So click on Q&A. And then you will see that it says search all course questions. And you can sort them by most recent and check all lectures. So you can just, if you have a question to a specific lecture, you can search there or by most recent. And then you just enter the keyword. So very easy. Then go to ask a new question if the question was not asked by anyone before, course content, this might include comments, questions, tips, or projects to share, or you can ask something else. But in general, all the audio, video, troubleshooting questions can also be found if you go to the Q&A section of Udemy, because it might also be related with Udemy directly and not with my course content. So usually you would click on the first option, course content, and then click continue. And then just enter a title. And yes, now I'm going to show you what you do if you do not have a question but you want to share something with me or with the group. So go back to ask a new question, course content, continue, and then just add a title. For example, just write, let's say you have a thing to share about your tree mandala, just write that, and then, hey everyone, I want to share my experience with you. So as you can see, that gives you the option to just communicate with the group, and then if you click up there, you can add a link, or you can directly add an image. So it's very easy, and then you just click publish. So again, feel free to use this to ask questions that you think everybody might want to see, if it's a thing that might be interesting for the whole group. If it's something specific, you can also write me a personal message. So you have several options. I just wanted to show you so that you know how Udemy works, and that you understand that even though it's a digital course, you can always feel free to share your images, your experiences, and of course also ask questions if you have any doubts or need help. I also want to take a minute to explain to you what you can expect of this course. So if you're someone who has always heard of the benefits of mandalas, you've also tried mandalas before, but you've never really been at that point where you were very satisfied because something was missing, you really didn't know what to create and you needed guidance. So if you're somebody that's interested in creating your own mandala, then this course is definitely for you. If you're a beginner, then dive right in, then you will enjoy a lot of the exercises that I share with you. Also, if you are a beginner when it comes to mindfulness and you feel like you're living in this rat race, you're always busy, you're always stressed, you have so many things on your mind and you want to slow down, you want to be in the moment, then this course is right for you. So if you're interested in implementing mindfulness into your life through creativity, and to be more specific, through mandalas only, then this course is for you. This course is not for you if you want meditation. I'm not teaching mindfulness meditation. I am teaching you how you can use creativity. So how you can implement creative practice into your life to be more mindful. Okay? And I am teaching you how you can also use your own ideas, your own fantasy. So I have a structured part, intuitive part, and a freehand part. If you only want structured exercises and you only want everything very clear and you're not ready to invest and to add your own ideas, then I would also say that this course is not for you. So I hope that this lecture has made clear who I'm trying to target. I want to boost your creativity, I want to boost your mindfulness, and I'm doing that through Mindful Mandalas. So let's dive right in and get started. In the following lectures, you're going to learn how to create a structured mandala, and this time we're going to use the heart as main symbol, and I am going to show you how I design this heart mandala, and the example that I want to share with you looks like this. So I really hope that you enjoy these following lectures. Enjoy them. See you inside. Welcome to this lecture. I'm now going to show you how I draw a mandala that I like to call flower and heart mandala. So to begin, start to draw a quite large circle that takes up a lot of space on your piece of paper. Okay. And then start in the center of your paper and just trace a circle. Then, with the space that is still left here, trace another circle, but that's going to be one that you're going to erase afterwards, so don't use too much pressure. And then take a little bit less of your compass size and go a little bit inside. Yeah, you see my lines are not too thin, there's enough space left. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and then do one circle in the middle. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. First of all, start with drawing a heart in the middle of your first circle. And try to fill out as much as you can from the circle. So you see I'm touching this part, and I'm also going to touch the right side. And of course you can use a pencil at the beginning and an eraser and change the heart as much as you want until you have the feeling that it has a nice shape. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some lines here that help me afterwards to add certain figures and that they're all symmetrical. Okay, so for that I'm going to use a protractor, and I'm going back to the center that I had here, and I'm checking for all the points that I have on the protractor. Okay, so the protractor is showing me 90 here, 270, 180, and 360. And I also want the sides over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for 45 degrees on each side. Okay, and this is the center piece. So now I'm just going to trace the lines. And I'm not going to use a lot of pressure because I want to be able to erase this afterwards. So these are just auxiliary lines that help me later on, so that what I add is all mirroring each other and is all symmetrical. So make sure that you're always putting your ruler to the marks that you made correctly. I'm going to do it this way. This one first. There's a mistake over here, so let me double check. Okay, I went to the wrong direction. So 45 is here and there. And now it makes sense. As you can see, I am only going to this line. I'm not going there because I'm going to do something else there. Okay, now with all the points that you have here, if you want, you can also separate all these sides, yeah? So now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you want, you can do more. But for what I'm trying to show you, this is also going to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our eye measurement. Not our eye measurement. Like we're not going to measure, but we're just going to check what we think is the middle. Yeah. So drawing mandalas is not always about measuring everything 100%, but I promise you it will also look nice if you just trust your feeling and check, okay, where is the middle of this line? Yeah. So just add dots, and then you're going to make a petal that goes up like this. Yeah, let's say halfway, and then it makes a curve and goes up. It makes a curve and goes up. Yeah, and you do that on each side. And as I said before, you're using a pencil, which means you can just try it multiple times until you like the results. I like turning my paper because it helps me to kind of see where I'm at.
Okay, now that you're finished with this design, I want you to look at the next free area and to look at the outer side of the line. So you see where the line is stopping. I'm just adding a dot. I'm just doing that to show you where we're going to continue. And then look at the top of each petal that you just designed, and you're going to combine two petals with each other. So just go from one petal piece from the tip to the other tip, and what you do is you're adding a half circle. If you want this to be a perfect circle, then you can just add take a compass and start tracing a circle in the middle of the area where the two crosses are, where the two lines are forming an intersection. But if you want it to look more organic, just follow my steps and just make a curved line. So you're free to do it the way you want. There are two options. Either you do everything with a ruler and compass, or you just have a compass to get started and a ruler for the main lines, and then you kind of combine the free work with the measured work. So we're now going to concentrate on the outer area, the last circle, and you can see that I'm just adding dots. Those dots are on the same line of the auxiliary lines that I did at the beginning. And then go to the last petal that you created, just go inside and do a line that goes straight up, and then on, let's say, the middle of the area, the piece, just make a curve that goes right up to the dots that you previously created. And then if you don't like how it is shaped, of course you can erase it and make sure that the petals are really round and nice. Then do that everywhere and make sure that you have shapes that you are satisfied with, and just go all around until you have 8 petals that have this design. I think I mentioned at the beginning that I'm just drawing this line, this outer line, very soft because we're going to erase it. So it was only there to help us that the designs that we're creating are all on the same height, on the same level. That's why you can see me erasing it now. This is in order to really see how the mandala is shaped. Yeah, and this is the basic mandala shape that I wanted to share with you. And now you can start with creating inside the specific areas. And I will also show you how I do that. Of course, you can follow my ideas, or you can just create your own version, as I always like to say. Well, if you want to keep it easy, just repeat a style that you already have. So you can see here that I'm just repeating the petal design that I previously created and just going a little bit inside into the inner piece and repeating the same thing and leaving a very little gap in between. One thing that you can do that's very easy is to just add vertical lines to this petal. You could also add circles, you could add spirals, you could add little zigzags or waves. There's so many things that you can do, but this is the design that I'm sharing with you. Then you can actually go ahead and erase the auxiliary lines that are going through the heart. We will not need them anymore. And then you have a better view of how your mandala looks like. So I advise you to just erase step by step, because if you erase too many areas, you might notice that you still wanted to use the lines for something if you spontaneously decide to add a new pattern. So we're going to look at this area again, and we're going to add a new shape. So far a lot of things that we've done were very curved and round and soft, and now I want to add a design that's a little bit sharp. It looks like a vase, or maybe a like a V, the letter V. So just do that twice. Just do one large line the way I did it, and then add a second one to the inner part of it. So it's actually quite easy, and you can see that the size is determined by the two petals on top, and I'm doing it on the same height. Well, just do that for each pattern. Well, once you're done with this design, you can see if you still want to add more. And in my case, I feel like there's still a lot of space in the outer area, so the petal that is above the last line, the auxiliary line. So that's why I'm adding two little circles. But of course you can add any design that comes to mind just to fill that area. And well, that's it for this lecture. See you in the next one.
Okay, so that's that part. Now let's have a look at this area from our heart. What we're going to do is we're going to do a very simple thing. We're just going to add lines that fit to this structure. So I'm just going to follow this line, yeah, this shape, and do it until this whole piece is not white anymore. Okay, and now I'm going to trace this line again so that it doesn't get lost, which means later if I should decide to use colors, this this line will be very visible. Okay, so I'll do the same on the left side. Okay, so as you can see, so far we've not done anything complicated. So here we followed the design and the shape of the heart. But here now we're going to make curvy movements. So we're going up like this, just to add some movement, okay? And for now, I still have the feeling that it looks nice if the heart stays like that, and we're not going to add too many things. Okay, so you can see that here you have a lot of space. It's not enough space to work with a compass, but I want to add a circle. And in this course, I want you to mix between measurements and using a compass and a ruler, and using your hands and trying things. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add circles to this area. Yeah, and just make loose movements first, and then later, when you're happy with the shape, you can go back and trace a clear line. Okay, so now that I think it looks okay, I'm going to the side and take one shape. Okay. The thing about mandalas is also that it's nice to have a lot of different designs, but it's also nice to repeat yourself. And don't add too many things that it's too full, but try to have a rhythm. Okay, so now I can see that there's still space over here. But first I want to close up this area. So I'm going to draw it dark, which means later if I add color, this is going to be a darker area. And I'm doing this already to see the contrast so that I know where to continue. Like where I want to leave areas white and where I want to add a new pattern. Okay. What you can also do is you can already remove these lines because you will not need them. We want this to be a complete petal without a line that is moving through. And sometimes it can help you to already erase the area that you don't need so that you have a better overview of what you're doing. And in some cases, you can just leave the pencil marks and at the end, use the colors that you want and really erase in the last step that you're taking. So it always depends what you're doing. Okay. So now we're going to add something to make this space more interesting, and we're going to leave this white because afterwards we can take a color and fill out these areas. So it's just interesting to look at what we're going to do with this area. Actually, we're going to work our way from this side up. So we're going to make petals. And you see they have different sizes. So I'm going up, down, up, down. Hello, in the following lectures, you're going to learn the freehand method and the mandala that I am designing and sharing with you is going to look like this. Of course, your version is going to be slightly different. You can make your own design. You can use mine as inspiration. But I really hope that you enjoy this mandala and that it will help you to get started with your own. Welcome to this lecture. I'm now going to show you how to draw a flower mandala using the freehand method. So what you can do is you can take a colored paper from the beginning and also work with a colored pen, a marker, or anything that is not a pencil, because this is a little bit more advanced. You're trying to practice to not always depend on an eraser, depend on the ability to change things, but to really try to put things on paper that will stay. So therefore, I'm going to use different pens and markers. I have some that I already picked beforehand. And I'm going to show you how I do this. So I start in the center of my page. And if I do a freehand mandala, I like to start with a dot or anything in the center that helps me to build on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a petal up here, and I'm going to do the same on the opposite side, and I'm trying that they're more or less the same size. Then I turn the page and I do it on this side as well. Okay. Now I have 4 petals. And I color them in. Now I take a different color, I mean a different pen, it's also blue, and I add a petal that is larger over here. That kind of frames this first one. Okay, so the lines are surrounding this one. And the beauty of a freehand mandala is that each piece will be different. They will not be the same because you are not taking any measurements. But in order to create harmony, you are repeating the same patterns. Okay, you can see that now we have 4 petals, and what I'm going to do is I'm now going to add a petal underneath on the diagonal sides. And I'm coming up with all the ideas spontaneously. I don't have a clear idea in my mind what I'm going to do. But with freehand mandalas, of course, you can plan ahead. The only main thing about this method is that you do not depend on a ruler or a compass. And of course, you can also use a pencil and an eraser. But if you want to practice to draw spontaneous mandalas, then I really recommend it to do it the way that I'm showing you now. I like it when colors are repeated. That's why I'm picking up this color again and adding it to the pattern that I just designed. Okay. Now with another color, just introduce a new color and then add a circle. For the circle, I'm actually going to use a pencil. But you can see that I'm just using my hands, so it's not a perfect circle. And with this green, I'm just going over all the elements that I see. I'm just tracing lines and I'm going to do it until I reach the outer line of the circle. Once you've done that, make sure that the outer line is very thick. So just go over it a few times. Just to create a very dominant, thick line. Okay. I like it when colors are repeated. That's why I'm picking up this color again and adding it to the pattern that I just designed. Okay. Now with another color, just introduce a new color and then add a circle. For the circle, I'm actually going to use a pencil. But you can see that I'm just using my hands, so it's not a perfect circle. And with this green, I'm just going over all the elements that I see. I'm just tracing lines and I'm going to do it until I reach the outer line of the circle. Once you've done that, make sure that the outer line is very thick. So just go over it a few times. Just to create a very dominant, thick line. Okay, now I'm taking the same color that I had here and I'm also going to use a pencil again because I want a large petal that has more or less this size. I'm just going to mark it. Okay, and then I'm going to make it kind of pop out of this area. Okay, so it looks more or less like a crown, you could say. It's also a petal, but you make a shape that goes up. So you start here, and then it's a curve, and then a tip up there. But I've showed you in previous lectures how I do this. That's why I'm not explaining it in detail. Okay. Just go over what you just created one more time so that the line is a little bit more thick. Okay, now I'm taking a colored pencil, just filling in the last petals that I created. So you see I used blue before, and now I'm using purple. I'm just making sure that it's also a dark color because I want this area to be darker than this. Okay, now that you've colored in the black or the dark blue petals that are outside, take a black pen, a thick black pen, and draw outlines on these last petals. This might look black on camera, but it's actually blue. And now I'm adding black to it. Okay. Now we're going to add green. I have my metallic green pen. I'm trying to add very easy steps for you to follow. So what I did was I'm kind of reshaping this structure. You know, here we have the U petal, and I'm going over it and doing it here, and I'm adding lines with a little gap in between so that the blue that I created underneath is still visible. Unfortunately, these two colors look pretty much the same, but this is green. And then do it for each petal. Make sure there's always a gap. Don't add them too close to each other. Take the blue pen that you had at the beginning, that you had here and that you had here. I'm just saying blue, but if you have, if you're using other colors, just make sure that whatever you used in the center is also used outside, because it always looks good if colors are repeated somewhere. So now with this, we're actually going to enter the mandala, because you know here we just did everything on top of this, but we're going to enter and add a petal that crowns this one again, that surrounds it. So I'm just going over here, making my way up to the tip, and then going in here and doing the same. Then just going over it one more time to make it more thick. Okay, again, go into the mandala, make a line, then go up to the tip, do it on all four sides. So you want to color in the large petals with one color. In this case, I'm using blue, and then I'm using a black pen to add outer line, just so that each single petal is visible. And I think I've said this before, I am trying to use colors multiple times. So you see that the black that I'm using for the petals has been used somewhere else before. I'm also using black for the petals that are outside, the four wavy ones or curvy ones. And as you can see, I'm using different blue tones. I have the dark blue that is underneath the four outer petals, and then I added the blue metal color over it. Of course, you can use any color family, color designs, but this is a recommendation to make sure that specific colors do come back. So you see that green is used several times, blue is used several times, and yeah, blue and green are the two dominant colors here. And I think it's also nice that the yellow in the center and the main circle is also coming out, and basically that's just the yellow that yeah, that is on the picture, because I used a yellow paper to draw this mandala. So basically you can see that in this lecture I'm just cleaning up what I already have. I'm adding little details and finishing touches. So now with this purple metallic pen, I'm going over the outer parts again and adding a clear line. And now you can see something where I want to advise you to add your own unique design. So far everything that I showed you is something that you can copy as well, and you can take all the steps that I took in this freehand method mandala. And what I'm doing now is I just had the feeling that the petals in the middle are still very simple, and that they will look nicer with some details. So that's why I just added these spirals, the black spirals, into it. So you can add anything, just let your imagination free and try different things. You can first take a notebook if you like and try some little designs, and then add them to this mandala. So I hope that you liked this freehand method, and I will see you in the next module where I show you other ideas to create your mandala. Hey, my name is Annika, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching so far. I actually want to show you the course if you are interested in getting the whole course, because obviously here on YouTube it was just a very nice preview from the 5 hours that I have prepared. So it's a mindfulness mandala drawing course, and you can see that at the moment I have a 4.6 star rating and already more than 7,000 students enrolled. If you click on Udemy, which is the e-learning platform where I'm hosting the course, and you scroll to the part where it says what you learn, you can really see all the benefits, like how to reduce stress and anxiety through creating mandalas, learn how to practice mindfulness through art and drawing mandalas, all those things. They're not really requirements. You need the basic art supplies that I'll mention in the video, and you will need internet to be able to see the tutorials. Then if you're somebody that likes to know exactly what you're getting into, you can read through the whole description. I'm really explaining who this course is for. Then if you look at the end, like if you scroll down way to the middle of Udemy, you see the course content. Let me just quickly close it that you see all the sections. So there are 11 sections right now with 87, there are 11 sections with 87 lectures and 5.5 hours. I might add something to this course, but I think I'm rather going to create a new mindfulness mandala course for you with other topics. If you let me know in the comments below what you really enjoy and what you need more of. Here on the right, you see, actually right now there's a promotion going on Udemy. And if you click on the description below, you will see that sometimes I'm sharing discount codes with you, but they change. They are only valuable for a few days. So I really try my best to keep the page up to date, but you'll always have to check if you see a price that makes sense for you. Then here you see everything that it's included. And also down here, if we're going back to the course curriculum, if you just click on the arrows, you're going to see all the lectures to really find out what you're getting into. I wrote down the names of the mandalas so that you have an idea. Heart mandala, flower mandala, structured, but also things that are very free, because it's about expressing yourself. So we don't want to only work structured, but we want a nice balance between having something that gives you safety, structure, and having something that allows you to express yourself and get loose. Just look at it. Then here you can see something about me as the instructor, and also about my academy. And then if you scroll down to the end, you can read all the feedback, all the ratings that I got, just to see for yourself if this is a course worth enrolling to in your eyes. And yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you. Here you can see all the other courses that I have, and maybe at the time you're watching this, you see that I have created way more courses here on Udemy. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time, and maybe see you inside the course. If not, whatever you decide to do, make sure to subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, just share where you're from and what you love most about drawing mandalas. And then as soon as possible, I will answer to your comment, because I really appreciate it when people comment, and I am grateful for everybody that is subscribing and that's even watching my videos. So have a very nice day, and yeah, maybe see your comments soon. Bye.